Gospel illustration, Handel's redirection. He was a has-been, a fossil, a relic, an old fogey, but it hadn't always been so. As a child, George Friedrich Handel had accompanied his father to the court of Duke Johann Adolf. Idly wandering into the chapel, the boy found the organ and started improvising, causing Duke Adolf to exclaim, "Who is this remarkable child?" This remarkable child soon began composing operas, first in Italy, then in London. By his 20s he was the talk of England and the best paid composer on earth. He opened the Royal Academy of Music, and the next several years were intoxicating. Londoners fought for seats at his every performance, and his fame soared around the world. But the glory passed. Audiences dwindled. His music became outdated. The Academy went bankrupt, and newer artists eclipsed the aging composer. One project after another failed, and Handel grew depressed. The stress brought on a case of palsy that crippled some of his fingers. "Handel's great days are over," wrote Frederick the Great, "his inspiration is exhausted." Yet his troubles also matured him, softening his sharp tongue. His temper mellowed, and his music became more heartfelt. One morning Handel received a script. It was a word-for-word collection of various biblical texts about Christ. The opening words from Isaiah 40 verse 1 moved Handel, "Comfort my people." On August 22, 1741, he shut the door of his London home, and started composing music for the words. 23 days later, the world had Messiah. "Whether I was in the body or out of my body when I wrote it, I know not," Handel later said, trying to describe the experience. Messiah opened in London to enormous crowds on March 23, 1743. Handel led from his harpsichord, and King George II, who was present that night, surprised everyone by leaping to his feet during the Hallelujah chorus. No one knows why. Some believe the king, being hard of hearing, thought it the national anthem. No matter, from that day audiences everywhere have stood in reverence during the stirring words, "Hallelujah! For he shall reign forever and ever." God had not abandoned Handel or his fingers, but needed to adjust his attitude by helping him to soften his sharp tongue, and to mellow his temper, so that he could read, listen and become inspired to put music to the Messiah as a hymn of praise. Hebrews chapter 13 verses 5 and 6, "Keep your life free from love of money, and be content with what you have, for he has said, I will never fail you nor forsake you." Hence we can confidently say, "The Lord is my helper, I will not be afraid, what can man do to me?" It pleased the Almighty, to whose great will, holy will, I submit myself with Christian submission. George Friedrich Handel.